Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to Harry's Highlights. On this video, we're going to talk about the book Who Moved My Cheese. Now, this book is all about change and how things are constantly changing. So we have to adapt. The quicker we adapt to change, the more satisfied we'll be. See, when you can accept and understand that change is inevitable, it's going to happen, no matter what you do. But understanding having the best mindset to it is really the best way to be able to handle it. So, no matter what you decide to do in life, whatever avenue or area you decide to make decisions in, there's going to be some form of change to some degree at some point, at some time. And the sooner that you can sort of accept that, you can then start working on solutions on how best to handle it. Instead of fighting it, instead of going, nope, change doesn't happen, I'll have complete control. There comes a point where you've got to accept and understand that you won't have control over everything. You've got to control the controllables. And one of those controllables is your attitude towards it, or your mindset towards it. See, one of the things I really want to talk about there is that change happens. That is true across the ages. That is undisputable. Change will happen. You can't ever just have something that'll stay the same for your entire life. But you can work with that. Having that knowledge gives you the opportunity to not get blindsided. Gives you the chance to prepare. See, which brings the next point about anticipating change. When you can anticipate that change is going to happen, and if you look at patterns, you can sort of see what, depending on what area you're in and what you're applying it to, you can see when change will possibly happen. How many people, that sailors, for example, they look at the skies and after a little while they can work out when the weather's going to change. They anticipate it. Somebody that's, plays a sport, they can sort of watch the game, they can sort of see that based on how everything's going, they can anticipate change. Someone that follows money, whatever, and the financial markets with lots of things, can look at things and sort of understand, there'll be some change here. Just as you can anticipate change when you know it gets to a certain part of the day, maybe your attitude's about to change. So when you apply that understanding to that, change is going to happen, you can anticipate for it. You can prepare more for it. So you can find new ways to handle it best and endure it in the most efficient and most positive way you can. Which is then, part of that is about monitoring the cheese. Because remember, cheese in the book here represents what you want in life. That could be love, that could be wealth, that could be success, happiness. So the cheese represents what you want. So you've got to monitor what you want. Because sometimes things will change. When I was a child, there's certain things I wanted, like a bike or chocolate or all these things that I really, really, really wanted. Now I've got older, they're not the things that I desire or want super badly anymore. So you've got to monitor cheese. You've got to monitor it as what you like. Because as you grow as a person, sometimes your wants and needs will change as well. So being aware of that means that you don't get fixated on that, I want this, I want this, I want this. You work really hard and you realize you get it and you go, well, I didn't really want it. I probably outgrew this a long time ago and I just was so fixated or focused on achieving this or getting this that I've now, basically been disappointed. So you've got to monitor cheese and constantly reevaluate if what you're aiming for is still what you want. Then the other part is about adapting to change. See, maybe what you wanted isn't what you want anymore. That's changed. And now you've got to adapt to it. Maybe what you want is still what you want, but how you're going to get this changed. So either way, no matter what avenue it is, you've got to be prepared and ready to adapt. The worst thing you can do is dig your heels in and then decide, nah, I'm not going to change. The universe will change for me. What you're starting to do is you set yourself up for a lot of negativity, despair, unnecessary difficulties and challenges. Because change happens. The best thing you can do is adapt with it. If you don't adapt, you become extinct. Everyone has seen that across the years with different animals and different species. How or even companies is a great example. For a great example I can bring up with that one there is that almost every person you ever speak to nowadays will know, if you said the word Netflix, they'll know what you're talking about. But if you said that 20 years ago, they'd have absolutely no idea. But the truth is, Netflix was around 20 years ago. They tried to partner up with Blockbuster and said, hey, Blockbuster was a video store. For those that might be a little bit younger, don't remember this one. They were a video store. Huge. They were international. They were in America. They were in Australia, New Zealand. They were all around. They were seen as the king of movies. So movies would come out at the cinemas, then they'd be released on DVD and video, VHS, and then you'd go to rent them from Blockbuster. Netflix came to Blockbuster and said, hey, we want to take things online. Blockbuster laughed at them. The CEO of Blockbuster laughed the founder of Netflix out the door. That was 20 years ago. And here we are 20 years later. Blockbuster didn't change with the times. Netflix did. And a lot of people don't even know what Blockbuster is anymore. They were at one time crowned the kings of movies. And now there's people that don't even know who they are, or even before that they existed. So you've got to be prepared to adapt to change. See, if you don't, you'll become extinct. See, and you've got to be prepared to adapt to change quickly. Great examples of this is that, like, you'll see companies that something will happen. There'll be huge fundamental shift in whatever it may be, and they're prepared to change. See, you'll see a lot of apps will go through this. They'll start off, like Instagram, for example. They started off in completely different direction to where they are now. But they adapted to change quickly. They adapted to the market that they were in and adapted profitably in a way that was going to benefit them. You need to do the same thing with your life. You need to look at when change comes, you need to look at it objectively and go, how can I turn this into a positive, turn this into an advantage? Look at change as always an advantageous thing. If you look at it as a way that's going to hinder you, you'll suffer missing out on certain opportunities. So you've also, when you not only adapt to change quickly, you've got to enjoy change. Understand that change is sometimes as good as a holiday. Change can sometimes really benefit you in ways you didn't expect or see. You've got to see change as another opportunity for you either to learn something or for you to benefit in some way. And when you look at it with that positive mindset, that positive attitude towards it, no matter what change comes your way, you'll always be able to handle it efficiently and with the right ways, right attitude, and profitably. As opposed to the people that handle it with a negative attitude and a negative way, they end up spending unnecessary time and energy on fighting the problem instead of being part of the solution. So enjoy change. See change as a positive thing, as something that's coming in. It's like, a hot day, change is the cool breeze. Welcome it. See, you've got to learn to move beyond your fear. When you move beyond your fear, you'll feel free because you'll realize that fear is something that holds you back, and when you move beyond it, you're liberated. You've got a chance to regain control of things again. When you're caged by your fear, when you're held back by your fear, you limit yourself. You put a ceiling on your opportunities. You put a ceiling on the opportunities and things that you can take advantage of. See, so move beyond your fear, and then you'll feel free, and it'll make things a lot easier for you. Then the other thing I want to talk about there is that on that same topic there, it's about old beliefs may not lead to new cheese. See, some of the things that you believe for a long time may not be applicable as you move forward through life. Blockbuster is a great example again. They believed that everybody, would always hire DVDs. They moved at the times from VHS, which is the tapes, to DVDs. But they thought it's unlikely that people are going to want to basically not go to the video store, just stay at home, click on a website and watch a DVD. That's exactly what's happened. They missed out. They tried to hold on to old beliefs, and it didn't lead them to new cheese. It didn't lead them to new profits. It didn't lead them to progress, expansion, and growth. They held on to them, and it was their demise. They're now extinct. See, Netflix came into the game and basically said, like, the old beliefs that people have been holding on to aren't applicable anymore. They've got to look at things differently. It's like a lot of our parents and our grandparents. They might be looking at the way that we do things nowadays and look at us and go like, but that's not how we've done it. But then you've got to remind them that old beliefs may not lead to new cheese. That the way that we do things now might apply and work a lot better nowadays than what they did, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. When you start to understand that, like, change is inevitable, change is something that's going to always happen, and that you've got to be prepared to sometimes move with the times. That when you do that, you'll have a far easier time, you'll have a far better time, you'll be able to open yourself up to more opportunities. So to summarize quickly, what I was talking about here was about that change happens. You've got to be prepared for that. You can anticipate that change and be prepared and be ready with the right mindset that when it does come, embrace it, don't dig your heels in. Monitor your cheese, monitor the things that you want in life, because sometimes you might outgrow them. Then you've got to adapt to change. So when change comes, adapt to it, but adapt to it quickly. Make sure that you don't spend unnecessary time and effort on the problem, and make sure you spend the necessary time and effort on the solution. And remember, enjoy change. Welcome it. Understand that change can sometimes really be a huge benefit. It's not always a necessary evil. Sometimes it can open you up to opportunities that you wouldn't have thought of or seen before. but the change happened, forced you into a new mindset and opened you up to new opportunities that you didn't see previous. And remember that when you move beyond your fear, you'll feel free. You'll feel liberated. And understand that those old beliefs may not lead to new chi. So sometimes you've got to move with the times and understand that things are changing, and sometimes you need to reevaluate the beliefs that you had. Now, we'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now. But until next time, leave a comment below on what you liked the most, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the next episode of Harry's Highlights.